Good morning. It's September 27. Today at dusk, our Jewish friends will begin to celebrate their holy day, Yom Kippur, the last Sunday of the month. Here's wishes and blessings that October comes in with some happy news. Happy news. For our opening prayer. If a small number of people gather lovingly together with absolute purity and sanctity, with their hearts free of the world, experiencing the emotions of the kingdom and the powerful magnetic forces of the divine, and being at one in their happy fellowship, this gathering, will exert its influence over all of the earth. The nature of that band of people, of us, our words that we speak, the deeds that we do, will unleash the bestowals of heaven and provide a foretaste of eternal bliss. So welcome today. We're going to be having a hopefully eye-opening, heart-opening conversation on ascertaining our spiritual direction, giving us some sense of how to form ourselves as spiritual beings. But first, what I want to do is, again, request that your cell phone is on mute or off and at least 2 feet away from you. Please be with the words of the teachers. Thank you. Now we're going to take our deep breaths to just center ourselves. Breathing is it, folks. Breathe to restore calm. Breathe to bring back peace. Breathe to center yourself. So we're going to take our 3 deep breaths, and we really do want to see those breaths bringing in the golden light of the divine through our crown chakra all the way through our bodies down to our tippy toes. And then when we exhale those concerns, those items from the world that you've brought here this morning, and inhale again, peace. Exhale again, shadow. Inhale again, peace. Okay? So our first breath. Hand on heart. Exhale. The other hand on your navel. Breathe in. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in. Big time. Exhale, get situated, get centered. Put your feet up if you'd like. Spirit, flow through us and touch our hearts. Guide us along the path to our fulfillment. Spirit, flow through us, touch our hearts. Guide us along the path to our fulfillment. The intention of today's message: to create a place to stand, reflecting your commitment to being spiritual in your life. It takes intention, it takes commitment. We got to start there, okay? This can't be the occasional you drop in on a message, or you drop in on a synagogue, or you drop in at church. Commitment day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath, to knowing and understanding and acknowledging, committed to being spiritual in your life. So spiritual formation and spiritual direction will be what we're addressing today. And the important thing is that it comes from all is well. All is well. You're loved. The divine is present. The angels are at our beck and call. No leftover recipes from the past about religion or what you thought was spiritual, what you were told you had to do to be spiritual, what that looks like. No recipes from the past. We're going to start from scratch here. We're going to reinvent, and if this is where you've been coming from, we're going to reinvest. We're going to invest your time and your attention, okay? The context on being spiritual, it's really simple. It's based on 3 values. The triangle, the stool of our power. Faith, hope, and love. The Sacred Journey of Life Healing Center and Spiritual Center, actually Spiritual Center and Healing Order, is dedicated to a mission that offers practical spirituality to put into action in your life. We want to offer you things that you put in action in your life with these occasional mystical attunements that we offer when the teachers come to visit us. Our social media reflects our point of view, and Hope offers you enlightenment, pieces to uplift you. Our website and our YouTube channel will be offering podcasts and classes, some writings, essays to illuminate you, to inspire you. And to inspire you what? To wake up. To wake up. Return to yourself. Pull you out of your unconsciousness. That's our intention. Because, as we've said in all the lessons all the way through, it's important that you be alert, awake, attentive, aware to take on the challenges of life. Otherwise, life lives you. That ain't the test, folks. When that happens, when those challenges occur, when you don't get out of bed with an intention, a commitment to faith, hope, and love, who am I going to express love today? What am I hoping for? What am I committed to? Do my actions and my words reflect what I believe in? It takes only a couple minutes, but get out of bed being your faith and your hope and your love, creating some intentions for the day. Otherwise, life will take you on as soon as you're done brushing your teeth. There'll be opportunities for you to lose power. When you lose power, you lose your self-respect. We do. We lose self-love. And we can only provide out there what we carry. We can only offer what we hold. The actions to take, well, they'll look like engaging with the world, but on your terms. Your terms coming from faith, hope, and love. You'll understand that every glove thrown down, every argument issued, every opinion stated, even if it's loud, is not your business unless you make it so. That unconsciously, if you don't come inside of your stand, on your triangle, on your stool, you allow energy in. You engage with the external conditions that were imposed on you. So what we want you to see is breath by breath, and that's all you need. You only need to manage breath by breath what you allow in and how you respond. Weaving changes into your habits and patterns that have been formed from the past, when you weren't so alert, when you weren't so awake, when you've now seen, especially since the opportunity of the pandemic, that boy did I have a routine of loving, a routine of acknowledging, a routine of celebrating. Boy did I have a routine. What we're doing as spiritual beings is being aware, focusing on that moment, what the challenges of the moment, what's the demand of the moment. Maybe none. But if there is, then we want to integrate. What means that is we want to be aware of, we want to pay attention to, we want to see what's going on, we want to manage our reaction so that it's for the greater good of all concerned, especially you. And we're going to integrate. What we mean by that is there's a stop, there's that moment between this happened and before you react, to bring in divine light, to bring in your faith, to bring in your hope for the best, to bring in your love, to bring in your stand, divine inspiration, to bring that in and weave in whatever response you have, so that you've expanded the situation. If it's been dangerous in the fact that it sucks the life out of all concerned, you dissipate that. If it needs upliftment, you add that, you offer that. You want to observe again, moment by moment, where you lose your power. That's how you know something happened and you did or didn't do something, when you lose your power. And how do you know you've lost power? Your body's the vector. Your body's the vector. You're sentient. You're a sentient being. You're an energy being. Something was lost. Something was diminished. And you want to stop there. And you want to stop in the moment. And you want to engage with the circumstances, the person, the incident, the issue, the item. Then, there, now. And you begin by acknowledging to yourself, something happened. This was said. I lost power. At work, you could walk into work and there's a meeting. And there's always a meeting on Mondays at 9 o'clock. And there's always a place you sit at the table. And you walk in and the new guy's there. New guy's there. And there's offense. There's not present anymore. Not available anymore. Those tiny moments are when you form your spiritual strength. That's when the direction is available to you to look, a word, avert incident, aware, and acknowledge it. It could be with humor, and maybe you only have to acknowledge it here, like, oh boy, I didn't know I owned that chair. And open the space up by welcoming or acknowledging that person who did it to you. It opens the space up. At home, we were just sharing this last week in the chat room, where a person came home, long day, and saw her kitchen a mess. And here she had looked forward to how she was going to make some things up, and here's the counter sticky, the floor is sticky. The dishes were in the sink, but it was like, and there was not just anger, there was hurt. She actually got in touch with, when we did this exercise, of hurt. There was a sense of not being honored in her home by her son, who's important to her. So it's important he honor her, and that he had no sense of the dishonor of leaving that space for her to cook her very late dinner in after she spent a long day at the office. There was hurt. And she actually could see, approaching him in the conversation of, I am upset, I'm going to make dinner now, but you have to know that this hurt my feelings when I came in, and I have to do work before I can make my dinner. And why that hurt is that I expect you to honor me, because you know what my day's been like, and I'm disappointed. That's all. Then that opportunity, that conversation allows him or her to engage or not. But I want you to know, as soon as you've been aware of that, as soon as you've not gone into reaction, as soon as your feelings and your reaction were important to you and you honored them, the space is open. The space is open. Faith, hope, and love stand there, and you're on the stool. And additionally, there's an opportunity for a deeper conversation, and maybe an opportunity to make requests. You've altered it. You've altered the space. You've actually contributed to the relationship. And you know that opportunity comes up a lot in relationship. There's so many things we swallow when we think, and it occurs, that, well, maybe I didn't get that call back because I didn't deserve it. Maybe there was something I did. Instead of, as soon as the concern's there and you see it's debilitating you, it's taking your focus off what you were doing, it's taking your breath away. Folks, you can actually feel your breath come away. Do you know to pick up the phone, text or call, email that person? The issue is with that person. The impact was delivered by that person. Be authentic in your communication and just say, I don't even know why this means something to me, but you need to know this means something to me. So I request blah, blah, blah. Could be, hey, okay, you don't want to talk by text? Just say, hey, okay, give me some time. Doesn't take at all anything for us to respond to one another, but in relationships we really do take each other for granted. So we want to be responsible there, because moment by moment you're probably dealing with something there. Moment to moment, okay? A happens, you do C because you believe B. No, there's no truth there. I'm just saying you believe B. You believe B is what was behind it, so you do C. Whether it's an insult, an intrigue, your meaning-making machine goes to work, and you've created a new pattern, a new habit, a new reaction, debilitated you, not offered the situation anything. This is where we lay as spiritual beings. Moment by moment by moment, we can maintain our power, always coming from what we can offer. What we can offer. Small, tiny things, but your spirit and your spiritual formation and your spiritual direction are tiny steps. We're having the big story. And the great Tibetan even says this at the end of his discussion on the seventh ray. I realize I'm speaking to the collective. I realize this does not work out on a man or woman basis for individual direction. But if I give you the big why bringing, we're the access to having Christ consciousness return to earth, we're the access to have heaven on earth, then you'll spend the time figuring out where you're not being that. So we're going to look at that. That's what we're looking at today. So Yom Kippur, the holiday, the holy day of Yom Kippur, is about forgiveness. It's about at-one-ment. It's about atonement, at-one-ment, coming into one with God. And what it takes something to come back into our spiritual sense, because there's been so much we've created by our acts or our omissions. Shame, blame, these places where we have been human and we have stepped outside of what we know to be appropriate, not honored what we say we believe in or hope for or love. So forgiveness is the theme of this very holy day for the Jewish folks, for our friends. So what do we mean when we're saying standing in faith, standing in your faith? It's offering your consciousness to the highest, coming from all is well. It's declaring your truths, demonstrating your truths, focusing on the good, the just, and the holy. Being with your experience of wellness. If it's not there, taking actions to restore it. Standing in hope. There is more life to come. There are more people who will be crossing your path. There are more opportunities you'll be stepping up to. There's more love. There's more love to receive and to give. New friendships around the corner. And looking up to the stars to dwell on the beauty of the universe God's provided us, and it's all free. It's all free. Standing in hope. Standing in hope. That means a head up. Eyes focused, acknowledgement and gratitude and appreciation filling us. Not ground down, not here, not like living your life from what's next to what's next. Taking your spirit with you. And standing in love. When we're standing in love, well, now we're going to spend some time here. Access to love when the experience, the feelings, seem to have disappeared, where contact hasn't been consistent, where distance and separation have occurred. Does that mean love's gone? How do I create that? Where do I go? Because love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. Love is a choice. And you can restore love, because usually, when love dissipates, or the experience of us being love feels faint, we can restore it. We can restore it for ourselves by acts of forgiveness. By acts of forgiveness. A spiritual human being is capable of not just the romance, but the living of love, the demonstration of love, what that means day by day. Close together or far apart. It's a demonstration of that. But it always, the strength of it, the depth of it depends on the forgiveness of those that we love. Spiritual practice in daily life requires forgiveness. It releases us from all misperceptions about ourselves and others. In forgiving, we are forced to experience that humbling process of dismantling, getting to the bottom, getting to the it of it. And in dismantling, the humility comes from being just willing to see events or people, the incident, the insult, the intrigue, seeing it differently. And when we do that, when we can put that space between action and our response, again, we've allowed ourselves and we've given Spirit the opportunity to enter and open us up. We begin to build a muscle where we take responsibility for any part we play in creating discordant events, creating scenes, drama, or simply allowing ourselves to lose power. Just allowing ourselves to lose power. Sometimes we falsely forgive, forgiving out of pity, forgiving out of obligation. Maybe it's a deal. It's like this sneaky little backdoor thing we have of forgiving because we're trying to maintain the status quo. So we're like, let it go. Not the powerful let it go. Let it go. Well, we'll go past that. Sometimes we're denying we are hurt, and we're making excuses for those who hurt us. There's an underlying resignation here. Can you feel it? That, oh well, so what? I can handle it. I'll offer it up. Sacrifice. But here we're asking you to choose courage over bravado, to speak your truth, to honor your feelings, honor yourself, fully self-express what's there in your heart, trusting that who you are isn't expressing that to diminish, destroy, to hurt, but to communicate, to build. And trusting yourself to know that that's your opportunity to, again, let in divine light, let in your spiritual being. Allow it to transmute the experience. That's the integration. Remember, being aware, focus, integrate. Integrate. That's the expansion. That's the spiritual growth. That's the exercise. Transmute the experience. Integration of your access to Spirit in these moments uplifts you, but it also uplifts the transgressor. Your heart force center is now leading the way, not your head, not your mind. Not those out of control reactions below the waist, those things committed to you being safe, feeling good, hoping you're enough. No, you're not operating from there. You're now operating from the heart chakra. Your heart force now is leading the way. And you are laying down, brick by brick, your pathway to your spiritual awareness. And you know what, folks? They don't go away. Because see, you have 7 bricks, the next one will be 8. You build. You're building your direction by the actions you take. In forgiveness, the fuel then is compassion. It's love. Standing in love. Standing in love, we can forgive. Standing in love, we can be compassionate for ourselves, expand our self-love, our self-respect. And as we do that, as we fill with that love, we have more love for others, the others that we're forgiving. You've dropped the shield. You've sheathed your sword. Your mighty thoughts and words and opinions have been flatlined. And in that interaction, you've actually offered to be engaged with that other person's life. There's an energy exchange. There's an energy exchange because you're both energy beings. Truth and authenticity expressed can do no other than grow both of you, or all that are involved. As we forgive others, we are opening up the wound that triggered the reaction. We are owning it. It's being purified in the light. By shedding light on it, divine light, from spirit, through spirit, to spirit, our spiritual light, we are honoring our sacred being. And more importantly, we're honoring that sacred being. That's spiritual direction. As we heal, we experience at-one-ment, this coming whole, being complete. When we forgive, we become closer to God. We're demonstrating and expanding our Christ consciousness. Forgiveness. It's not asking for the strength to forgive the person, like, that little tiny bit of getting over it. That's not it. That's not the point. No. We're being present with the pain of the incident. We're being responsible and willing to be responsible for it. We're willing to acknowledge the other person or being that may be engaged with this. You have to understand, sometimes it is just us. It's us when we don't keep our word to ourselves. Because, nobody knows. Nobody knows you didn't sit down and work on that tax return yet, like you've promised 5 days in a row. Nobody knows. But see, you do. And when you break your word, and I don't care whether it's you don't go to the gym, or you don't go on the run, or you eat, or you drink too much, or you go into those other occasions that actually just divert you from what you say you're up to. When we break our word, it's the same thing, folks. It's the same thing. We disempower ourselves. We can't trust ourselves. That doesn't stay here. That doesn't stay here. See, that's the soup we're serving. So it's really important to remember, forgiving ourselves is really important. It's really important. It's valuable. It's central to who we are as spiritual beings. We start here. We start here. We love here. We give from here. I want to end with this summary to offer you, and then we have a great song from Ronnie, a brand new song from Ronnie. Breathe through distress with your hand on your heart to facilitate healing. Align yourself to your core values of faith, of hope, of love. Know that living your truth is enough. Is enough. You don't have to prove you to anybody. It's you and God, baby, and you both know what the plan is. Work your plan. Let loved ones know how much you appreciate them. Praise positive efforts. Give yourself a round of applause when you do take action. Be in action. Willing to stop it all until that's cured. That's resolved. Willing to stop it all. Allow others time in the spotlight. That's interesting, huh? Let other people be the news. Dig for the gold within you and within others. That's the hope. That's the hope. Dig for the gold. It's there. An act of love begins a powerful transformation. An act of love provides powerful transformation. And that, my friends, is Christ consciousness, alive and at work, uplifting the planet. So be with yourselves and know when you go to bed at night. When you experience upliftment, know that that's an energy that's rippled out, like the stone hitting the water. It's rippled out. When you experience upliftment, you've contributed to the planet. You've contributed to the planet. So be who you are. Be yourself. Stay true to your truths. Do not impose them on anyone. Honor the person engaged with you, who approaches you, who presents themselves as another solid, sacred being on their own journey. And let it be. Let it be. So now let's hear from Ronnie.
About You. It's a gospel tune. Anita Wilson does a wonderful job with it. Take a listen if you have a chance on YouTube. I see the sun rise over the horizon, and I'm grateful for another day. Because of your love, I can face any challenge. Come for another day. Because of your love, I can face any challenge comes my way. Only in you I live, I move, and I have my being. I surrender my will to yours. Make me who I am in you. In Christ I can do all things. It really doesn't matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see not me, but He who started a good work in me. He shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. Oh, I tried to find my own way through this maze. Thought I could make it to my place of destiny. But then I thought as you stood naked in humility. Now I clearly see with matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see, not me, but he who started a good work in me, he shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. All about you.
Thank you, honey. So, have a very good week. Be on top of it. Move out there with your faith, your hope, and your love. Again, we want to wish our Jewish friends a happy, holy Yom Kippur. P.S. The Steelers are going to win today. I love you. Namaste. Let's see you again next Sunday.